the next one I'm going to talk about is called variation listings. This is going to be super helpful if you're selling things like sneakers or other products whereby there are many variations on the listing. What do you need to be looking at when doing your analysis? So right now I'm on a Nike men's Air Force sneaker, and you can probably tell that not only there are lots of different styles available, but each style has different sizes, which we know. And the question you might be asking is, which one of these actually sells and how does it all work? Now let's jump down to Keepa and have a quick look. Now, when we look at this, what you're going to notice on any of the variation listings is you get a new tab called variations. So let's quickly click on that. Now, whenever we're looking at any listings with variations, that's whereby there's lots of different options to buy. We want to be going into this variations tab to give you an understanding of what's actually selling and maybe what's not selling so fast. So let's have a quick look through. Now, what you're going to see here is you can scroll across and you can actually sort I bought in the past month, which is super helpful. But you can see here, only 2 of a lot of listings actually has that information. So if one of the listings we're going to buy doesn't have that information, that means we've got to use different methods. So the next way we look at it is over here. We'll look at the ratings history and the review history. And I look at both of these to give me an idea of the sales itself. Now, again, ratings is really useful. Amazon actually gives you a score based on, should we say, historical sales, customer feedback, all those kind of metrics put together. Whereas reviews is actual physical reviews from customers. Generally, it could be anywhere between maybe 1 in 100 purchases equals 1 review. It could even be up to something like 300 purchases could be 1 review. So I'm going to use these information to help me understand how well something is selling. Now, we immediately know that this top one is selling 300 units per month. And we can see this ratings count is going up and up and up. And the review count is going pretty good, even though it's come back down. Maybe Amazon's removed them. The 100 per month has gone up a bit, but not as much as that one. And we got 1 rating review. What we're probably going to do is if we scroll down, we're going to start to see all of these start getting very flat. It means that we're not really seeing much data coming in. So basically, Amazon's telling us that there's not much happening with them. And what we're really trying to do is not just look at over a 90-day period. We might zoom out to a 1-year period and have a look. So we can see over 1 year, this product has actually got quite a few ratings and it's got 1 review. So it's probably selling a bit. Whereas if we come down to something like, let's have a quick look. This one, it's got no change in the ratings and it's never got a review at all. So I'd probably say that this product is like not selling at all ever. Like I'd probably be walking away, or if I'm going to test it, I maybe might buy 1. That's it, to see if it even sells. Now you can see here, these have got no reviews, whereas some of them have got some rating and they're not increasing reviews. So if you're seeing that, it's kind of giving you a good idea that sometimes you might get the odd review and a bit of ratings kind of selling, but not that fast. But if you're going back to where we had this one, where is there no change in the ratings, no reviews, or even no rating, no reviews, probably never sold, if never sells at all. So just be really careful with that. Now, what you can also do, and the top tip I recommend, let's have a quick look at this one, is if we click on the actual product, and we go in. So this is the product. We can see it's like a men's Air Force. We can actually just go into the data tab, look at the offers, and we can see the stock history. That's the thing that we're really interested in, to see what is going on. So again, it was a bit prime. We'll show historical, and if I scroll out to 365, I can see this guy. Well, I don't think he had 1,000. That's an Amazon glitch, but he had 2 items in stock about a year ago. And he's still got 2 items in stock right now. And he's dropped his price from 289 to 240, and he still hasn't sold a thing. So if I was looking at this product right now, not only would I be looking at the variations and seeing that nothing's changed in that, I'd also be looking at the offers and saying, no one's ever sold it, I would never buy this. Gives you a really good understanding of what you need to be looking at in variation listings. Now, I want to show you this little hack, which is going to help you understand how many to buy by using other people's data. So we're coming back to this wonderful product, which has crashed, but it's really useful because there's some good information in the chart that's going to help you to understand how many to buy. Now, regardless of whether the product is crashing or not, we're not particularly looking at that right now. Hopefully, you're going to find a product that doesn't crash and looks really good, but we're coming down to the question of how many should we be buying. So let's scroll down the Keepa chart right now. So when we come down, first thing, I'm going to jump over the data tab. I'm going to go to offers. I'm going to be looking at what the stock levels are for other people on that listing. And I'm going to use that information to help me make an informed decision about how many I should be buying for my business. So once this is loaded, remember we're going to load up Prime. We do FBA only. And we turn off used and turn off collectible, and we turn on historical offers count. Now, what I'm specifically going to be looking at is this stock history. And what I'm looking for is I'm trying to understand people with this nice staircase effect, because I can see this guy had 4 and he went down to 1 and then he sold out. This guy had 6, went down to 1, sold out. What we got here, this guy had 4, went down to 1, pretty much come back to 2. He had 4. he had 4, he had 4, this guy here had 4. And I'm always looking for people who have gone up and then gone down the staircase effect. Now, what you might notice in my language that I've just used is to say, this guy had 4, this guy had 4, this guy had 3, this guy had 4. What you're generally starting to see is how many stock units other people are buying. And the reason why I like this method is not only can you just buy the same they've done, i.e. 4, that's a common number that people are buying, is that you can actually work out how long that stock's lasted. So for example, here, this guy bought 4 on the 29th, and by the 17th, he'd sold out. So you'd probably say about 3 weeks supply, which is the time that he's had, 4 will last for, given the competition and what's happening. So if I'm looking to hold my stock for about 3 weeks, 4 is the right number. If I may be looking for a month, 5 would probably be the right number. Now, you might be saying to me, hey, but Tom, this product is selling 30 units a month. Should I not be buying 30? Well, you can, but remember, you've got to share those 30 sales across all the competitors. And how do you understand how many you should buy? Well, have a look at all your competitors, see how many they've bought and how quick they're sold out over what period of time. That can help you to understand. So, for example, when I'm doing my analysis, if I'm saying, hey, I want to have a month worth of stock, I'll just look at the competitors and see how long they had their stock for. If it's about a month, I'll buy the same as them. Or if I want to buy half a month, I'll look at theirs and then half it. That'll be how much I'll buy. And that one little hack just makes analyzing products so much easier to buy. And once you start getting your real data in, which is how many sold, now you can buy based on actual sales data which you've got, because all of this information is just estimations. One of the biggest problems I see within Amazon right now is finding profitable products. Everyone talks about it, and what's the one thing that you can do right now that's going to change the game? It's finding those suppliers where they are selling profitable products. You can buy low to resell high for a profit. That is why I put together my top 100 suppliers for the USA and for the UK in a downloadable link down below called my top suppliers list. You can get it today for free, and it's going to help you level up your game and find those profitable products.